Hello everyone, welcome to my last devlog for my FPS platformer. My name is Clay and I am a game developer and designer. In my previous devlog, I finished creating the animations for the player and decided to move on to make the scene. I installed Builder Pro to make my level and made a sketch of what I wanted the game to look like using GIMP. It's my first time using Builder Pro, but I was able to learn how to use it by looking at some YouTube videos. I also installed Pro Grids so that my objects will snap to the grid. For my playground, I mostly used cubes, cylinders, and hexagons. After getting some work on the level done, I baked a nav mesh to configure where the enemy can walk. Then I started creating the enemy. I used a simple capsule as the enemy's body and added a nav mesh component and enemy controller script. After testing out the enemy, I continued to work on the level a little bit more. I got a free robot from the Unity's asset store so that it would be more intimidating than a capsule as an enemy. I also went into Mixer mode to get some animations for the enemy. After getting some animations, I installed the animation rigging so that I can rig the enemy to hold the gun properly and to make the game look more smooth. I decided not to go with the robot as it seemed out of place and it didn't fit the mood of the game, so I went with a dummy model. I used the 2-bone IK constraint to have the enemy's arms locked in on the blaster. Then I programmed the enemy to look at the player when following them. The enemy is still a little stupid, but I'll continue to work on it later. After that, I programmed the enemy to shoot when it was close to the player. Then I made an empty game object and placed them on the tips of the player's fingers so that when the player shoots, bullets will instantate in that position. I had to play around with the positions of the bullets so that it would feel accurate to where the player was aiming. For fun, I wanted to add a ragdoll to the enemy so when the player kills them, they would literally drop dead. After that, I installed post-processing so that the game would look nicer, and also because I wanted to have a damage screen effect to the player when they are getting hit by bullets. Great, now I have to program it, and when the level is over, the player gets their lives back, so the screen would have to be clear then. I thought that giving the player 10 lives would be a good number for them. After that, I made a death animation so that when the player reached 0 lives, it will play. Then I added a restart button so when the player dies, they can restart the game and play it again. Then I added some text to tell the player what wave they are on. For each wave, the enemies will increase by 2 plus the wave number they are on. I also placed different spawns for the enemy to be spawned on in the level. As you can see, I'm pretty trash at playing my own game, and games in general. I do love making them though. I decided to leave the enemies' bodies on the ground instead of removing them once they are dead because it sort of added a funny type of vibe to the game. Just looking at all the bodies on the floor, seeing all the havoc and chaos you're creating. If you're interested in playing, I'll leave a link down below. See if you can beat my record. I think my best is getting past wave 3, which isn't all that impressive. Lastly, I forgot that I needed to add a collectible item in my project, so I made a simple coin using a sphere. I animated it to spin around, so when you kill an enemy you can collect a coin. I was going to have it where when you collect a coin, you can access more power-ups such as a force push or a shield and sword, but I clearly ran out of time. I'm happy with how the project went. I got a pretty decent grade for it. There are definitely things that I wish that I had time to add. There's no start menu or anything, you just go straight into the game. It could have been more fleshed out and smooth, but overall I think it's fun and has a cool game mechanic. It's something that I can expand upon more if I wanted to. Thanks for watching and have an okay day.